Running a web presence is no good if you don't keep on top of the analytics of who looks at the site, what they do there, and how long they stay. Well, Fusionex is a company that specializes in such analytics and so-called big data. Ivan Tate is chief executive, and he joins us now. Ivan, it's surprising the gap that has opened up between business and technology and the implementation of technology for the benefit of business. I know that Fusionex fills this gap. Explain a bit more about what you do.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me. It's really an exciting space for us in the big data analytics space. So we see a plethora of different types of data sources. We see people, going onto the website, going onto e-commerce sites, people having mobile devices. So there's a whole slew of next generation data that's being generated, every second, every minute of our lives. So what we as Fusionex do is we help organizations connect to this multitude and plethora of different data sources, and we help them find insights. We help make sense out of it, because you want to know what your customers are thinking, you want to know what your customer preferences are, you want to understand things from an attribute perspective. Who are some of your customers? You want to understand the attitudinal perspective, which is why are they behaving in such a way. You also want to understand what are they purchasing, how long have they been on the site. So many of these things can be gelled together using big data analytics. There is inherently a gap between business and technology. So the business wants to see things in a forward moving way. They want to see things in a very forward-looking way. But sometimes technology might not be available at their fingertips. So what we provide them is a very agnostic way, a very cost-efficient way where they can start small, they can think big, and they can scale fast using very humanized technology that we bring to the table.
What sort of clients make up your client base? I mean, what are we talking about? Large companies, small companies?
We have customers ranging from Fortune 100, Fortune 500, Fortune 1000, FTSE companies, FTSE 250 companies, very, very large multinational companies, huge Asian conglomerates, some of the largest brands in across the region and across multiple industries. So it doesn't matter whether they're customers that range from financial services, banks, insurance companies, oil and gas companies, manufacturing companies, telcos, retail companies, huge hypermarkets, supermarkets. Any one of these, it doesn't really matter what industry they come from, they all have data and they want to find insights, they want to do better, they want to push the envelope and continue to improve their revenues and service their customers better. That's what we do. For mid-sized companies, we also have solutions where we can obviously provide them with our standard offerings. So we do have a multitude of different customers from different regions and different types.
Well, let's talk about the regions, because I know that you're pretty much global, aren't you? How do you split that down?
Yeah, so we have three main regions that we service: the United States, Europe, primarily in the UK, and of course Asia Pacific, which is our strongest revenue earner. We see very good growth and consistent growth in Europe as well as the United States, and we've seen that over the last couple of years. But we've seen really, really accelerated growth in Asia Pacific, especially in the analytics space, the big data space, and there's tons and tons of data that's being generated. So we see Europe and the United States continue to grow very consistently, but we're seeing really very rapid growth in Asia Pacific. So we're very excited to be in this very exciting space.
Yeah, you work with the likes of Intel as well on some deals, don't you? What's all that about?
That's right. So Intel is phenomenal, and they're really a great partner. So they're one of the most sophisticated companies in this world, and they have one of the most complex operations in this world, but they're extremely forward-thinking. And as we know, they're the largest chip manufacturer in this world as well. So when they first spoke to us, we really were thinking and putting our heads together to think, how can we do better for Intel, right? So we worked with them in partnership to actually help them define certain use cases. They were very clear. They were very open about it. They weren't about to rest on their laurels. They wanted to get things done better and more efficiently. Essentially, they wanted to find ways where they could predict unnecessary and unwanted downtime. Because as we know, in any manufacturing plant and any manufacturing organization, the most dreaded thing is to have undesired downtime where you could have huge losses. As opposed to doing things preemptively, you could then perhaps change and remove any unnecessary parts, and you could avoid those unnecessary downtime. So what we did for them is to be able to connect to all of their machinery, their production lines, to be able to extract and understand the historical data, because your data tells you a story. So when you see the data that happened historically, you understand what happened, right? And when you diagnose the data, You can then use diagnostic analytics. It tells you why it happened. You can see the symptoms. And then more importantly, you could use predictive analytics to see what might happen. When certain symptoms appear, you could predict certain outcomes that could really happen. And then more importantly, you can also give prescriptive analytics, which is to work on the actionable items. Now, by combining all these, Intel was able to use the technology and the platform that we put in place using Fusionex Analytics Giant to be able to derive true value, thus avoiding the unnecessary downtime. So we're very pleased with this partnership that we work with.
In terms of these deals with these clients, how long do they last? I mean, how long does a typical contract last for you, and is it often renewed?
Yeah, so we have a renewal rate of more than 95%.
95%?
95%,
renewal,
yeah.
right.
Given that we're a relatively young organization, we've grown in the last couple of years. We work in a very, very exciting spot. So we've managed to have very strong renewal rates, but typically our customers work with us for many, many years.
I know you're in a closed period, so we can't talk about any of the movements on the balance sheet, profit and loss and so forth, but you've been profitable for a number of years now. How do you see this space developing, and how do you see Fusionex taking part in what presumably is just an ever-growing market at the moment?
We see the big data analytics space evolving. We're seeing expanding. We think that we're just scratching the surface in terms of big data analytics. So today when we have conversations with senior executives, CEOs, CFOs, CIOs in many of the organizations, I have personal chats with them, we have meetings with them. They're really thinking about either embarking on this big data analytics journey, or they're already doing something in relation to big data analytics, or they might already have started a big data analytics journey with us. So we think that the market is just evolving, it's growing, and we're just scratching the surface. Over the next couple of years, we see a lot of excitement. Wikibon predicts that it's going to be a $50 billion market for big data. And of course, we're seeing a tremendous growth rate at about 6 to 7 times the average of the industry. So we're riding on that wave, and we're really excited to be in this space.
Right, okay. And part of that wave is I know that you've been voted as EU Entrepreneur of 2014, and also a Young Asia Pacific Entrepreneur last year as well. What does this mean for you and the company?
Well, thank you for those kind words. I feel really humbled and obviously very privileged to win these prestigious awards. But more importantly for me, it's not about the individual recognition. For me, the team that has put in place the products, the work, the talent, the capabilities to showcase a lot of the talent that they put in place to deliver our products and solutions to our clients and to deliver that real value to our clients. That's what matters to me. And we're not going to rest on our laurels. We're not going to be complacent. We're going to continue to push the envelope. We're going to invest more in R&D. We're going to continue to build the best products, the best solutions in the market. And we don't settle for being second best. We're really looking forward to do what we do best.
Well, look, good luck with everything, and of course, the upcoming release. But Ivan, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Ivan Tay is Chief Executive there of Fusionex.